Gabriella Fernandes making her debut, sitting at minus 120 against the Canadian Jasmine Jasudavicius. Plus 120 for her. Over under set at 2.5 rounds, minus 260 for the over, plus 260 for the under. If you like the under in this one, you're getting pretty good odds there. Flyweight bout here. Fernandes making her debut, 8-1, 5-0 in her last 5. Jasudavicius coming off the loss to Silva at UFC Austin last year. Who you liking this?
Yeah, right now, you look at Jasmine coming off of that loss in the UFC, just based on her level of opponents. And Kay Hansen she beat, but Kay Hansen is kind of a letdown in my opinion.
Yeah.
Girls making their UFC debut though. You look at Gabriella Fernandes, and she was in LFA fighting girls that you've probably never heard of. She has the ability to get finishes that we've seen her find the rear naked chokes, guillotines. She's got a strong squeeze. We've even seen some TKOs as well. I don't normally take UFC newcomers, but if I'm looking at both of these girls side by side, their records, their finishing ability at this level, I'm always going to take the finisher, especially in women's MMA, because you don't get a lot of girls that come out here with great finishing ability. I think Jasmine has the ability to be a good fighter. I mean, she's strong. You look at her, she's kind of intimidating. But I think Gabriella Fernandes, like I was saying, I just got to go with the finishing ability, especially in this one. I'm interested to see if you have anything else on it, because at this level, man, it's just hard to get a grasp, especially betting on either side in this low level of women's MMA. For the pick, Gabriella Fernandes, am I going to lay money on either side? Probably not. Just can't get there with either one, especially since you haven't seen them fight any like great fighters or anything. Yeah, give me Gabriella for the pick.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Jasmine, her debut against Kay Hansen, I backed her as an underdog, and she came through for me. And pretty much for Kay Hansen, it's like she wants it on the ground and she wants to use her jiu-jitsu, and that's pretty much the story for her. And Jasmine knew that. She was a lot bigger than her too. I mean, she loves to use her size when she fights, lean on girls. I guess you'd say girls. I want to say guys, but lean on girls, control them up against the cage. She can get hit on the feet though. I mean, you watch the fight with Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva pieced her up, and Jasmine was a minus 240 favorite in that one. I remember looking at that line. I'm like, this just doesn't seem right. Like, there was a good amount of hype on Jasmine because, she's got a pretty good frame for the division, and, Canadian is a little like, some kind of hype coming into the UFC. She had a loss to Elise Reed though, a split decision loss in Cage Fury, at strawweight. So we all know Elise Reed. She's got some pretty decent stand up, but not like a super long. And Jasmine moving up to 125, still a good frame for 125. And you look at Gabrielle Fernandes, she's a built 125er. Like, she's got to be cutting a good amount of weight. Like, she's 5'6", only an inch shorter than Jasmine, and she has some muscle on her. I mean, the guillotine choke she had against Carolyn Martins in her last fight out, she was squeezing, and you could see the pecs popping. I'm like, geez, like, is this girl on
strong
juice or something? Like, damn. But her only loss in her professional career is to Maria Silva. And if you know Maria Silva, she fought in the Contender Series last year against Victoria Dudikova. She was a minus 270 favorite in that one, and lost that one by decision. That was when Dudikova like blew out her knee and still managed to win. So, I mean, her only loss is to a pretty good opponent, and a woman that was probably should be in the UFC at this point, but isn't. She has a win. Her first professional career win was against Jasmine Lucindo, who's in the UFC now. So, I mean, she's fighting pretty solid girls on the regional scene, and then gets into LFA, and LFA is, pretty much the stepping stone to the UFC, and she's undefeated there. So I can see why she's the favorite in this one. And after watching them both fight, I think Fernandes probably pieces her up on the feet. She throws a lot of kicks, and she's going to be able to keep that range against Jasmine, who, as I said, wants to wear on you. Southpaw, that's another wrinkle to throw in there for Jasmine. And yeah, I like Fernandes this week, but again, it's lower level women's MMA, so it's tough to get a real good grasp. But I can see why she's the favorite, and I would feel pretty confident that she wins this fight if she can stay at range. And I think if it gets into the clinch, I think she's going to be the stronger girl, like just straight up. And she had a lot of grappling exchanges in her fight in the LFA. She looked pretty decent. So yeah, as weird as it is to say, I feel pretty good in Fernandes, a debuting women's MMA fighter. But yeah,